Nice little check. It was like 4 racks or something.
So you voted yes on 77?
No, we didn't vote yet. It's gonna be next year. But I was like, I wonder if the manager, some of them get like 10 racks for their retro. I was like, I wonder if, and they wasn't willing to like give up and like let the people at the lower end. They want us in the middle to pay for the lower.
Okay.
So,
well, did they ask y'all? Yo, you tuning into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building.
It's still Farmer Pro. It's still Farmer Pro.
And you tuning in Outlawed Opinions. We already I already did the intro for that, things of that nature. So you know why we here, you know what we're going to talk about. Go ahead. So what was they saying? They wasn't trying to give you your money?
So they wasn't trying to give us the money. They didn't want to give the money, right? So they're like, yeah, man, we want the people in the middle to pay for the lower people instead of us all getting equal, whatever.
That's crazy. What kind of system would do something like that?
Yeah, well, America. So I was like, I wonder if my mind would change if I got to that position. Would I really would my morals change? Would I be like, right now, I'm saying,
right now, you like, yo, man, let's get equal for the people. But if you got the bag, it's like, hey, man, y'all people need to calm down and you need to work like I did.
Peep game, retro checks roll around.
Right.
I went to go look back at what I had got last year.
Right.
But I was looking at it at the wrong dates and stuff. So I finally found my check stub.
Okay.
And it was like $6,800.
All right.
And they had taxed me, and I got like 4 something. So then I was like, hold up.
He said, hold up.
I'm a little closer to 77 than I thought I was. So now I'm like,
we shouldn't change nothing. Yeah.
Nah, my morals change now.
Yeah.
Now I want to stay where whatever.
Yo, you know what? We need to make that a topic. Does your morals change as your life improves?
Yes, I believe.
And is that a bad or a good thing?
It's survival.
We have to stamp that. That's a really good, because
it's survival.
Because it's it turns into a class conversation. But we got a lot of topics. We got a lot of topics. But I like that one. That one. Don't steal our topic, okay?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Do your morals change? The more your
he gonna repeat it too, like just in case you steal it. We said.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh yeah.
So just diving into it real quick, man. We already know the sad passing of legendary Fatman Scoop.
Fatman Scoop.
You know,
remix.
Hey, I'm sorry, but if you didn't have that sauce on like a hype record back when we was coming up, if you didn't have something along the lines of like what Fatman Scoop was doing, it just wasn't gonna hit.
Yeah.
If you go back and you look at like let's keep it 100. The acting and the way that it was shot wasn't the best. You got served, right. But that song, you know what I'm saying? That Timbaland record with him, screaming at the beginning of the record, "Fatman Scoop," like that's just hype. If a basketball team ran out to that right now, people's gonna get up and get hype.
John.
Yeah. Extremely. That's a very good example in comparison. But R.I.P. to Fatman Scoop. I mean, I don't know if you could do it how he did it. I mean, unfortunately, he collapsed on stage. But I mean,
word?
Yeah, he collapsed on stage, and then later on, he passed.
I didn't hear about that. I didn't know that.
You didn't know the details.
His passing. I just didn't know what happened.
And the crazy thing about it is, it's like a lot of when you see somebody go down doing what they love, it's almost like bittersweet.
Yeah,
it's a little bittersweet.
We would all love to do what we love, and like that would be our like final thing.
Grandstanding.
Like if you could do something right before you died, it would be the thing you love to do.
Yeah, or one of the things you love to do if you love many, right? But we just got to acknowledge that, man, because he's definitely a legend. And
it looked like he had lost a lot of weight though before.
But
that happens.
Well, sometimes
on the road to recovery,
I seen that, and sometimes I get a little I get a little down seeing that, because sometimes a lot of times in our culture, when we see that, somebody that was really, really big and they, in their younger days, and then the older they get, they're smaller. A lot of it is health reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Health reasons, for sure.
When you get sometimes when you get diagnosed with certain things, and it's like, man, you have no choice. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
I mean, on the road to recovery, like you could still be trying to like fix the car, but the car is just still going down that road of like it's gonna stop working.
True.
So like you are repairing it,
yeah,
but the inevitable is gonna happen sometimes.
So. And then I'll just sidebar this. I had read an article about Craig Mack.
Man,
And the details came out about that allegedly he was HIV positive. Yeah. I thought that was really sad too, because
somebody got to get taught a lesson about that, because that's some HIPAA violation shit. If the family did not say they wanted that information to be disclosed, like whoever released that, I think it was was it TMZ? I wasn't gonna say that.
I'm not sure. I don't know if I got it from TMZ, because I follow certain platforms that I'm not gonna shout out without a check, but you know, I read about that and I felt bad, because my thing is, if he kept that private alive, why would you expose it with him not here? Just
for information.
Yeah. Like, because that's he's not here. That's the most important part of the information, is he's no longer here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I thought that was.
They want to really give some brand new.
They don't
flavor in.
Well, media coverage today they're not doing the best job at like what is news.
There's not a story behind that.
Like I remember, that's
not a story.
I remember 45 kept calling things fake news. Still to this day, he calls things fake news. Right. I mean, I see where he's coming from, but for me, it's just not news. Like seeing Ice Spice lose weight, that's not news. That's not news to me.
News is no longer informative in the way that there's like a story behind it. They're usually, a lot of our news back in the day, whether it was sensationalized or not, a lot of it had to have like it was a story.
There's some context. It was some facts, leading up to the story. Yeah,
they're gonna tell you what happened next week on a follow up on it, and like there's kind of like a little story behind it. Now it's just like how many views we finna get.
Yeah, what we doing? Yeah, I don't know about that, man. That's a little different. Yeah, but it is what it is. But you know, just jumping into the first topic, man. Tyrese has been on tour right now, going to all the platforms. You know, Breakfast Club, Gillian Wallow, Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay. And normally when he's in the media, right, when he makes news, it's more so people poking at him, laughing at him.
For sure.
But I feel like this time around, more people felt like what he was saying was real, and more people felt, on my end, I seen more empathy for bruh.
You talking about his relationship?
No, it wasn't just his relationship. He lost his mother.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? Okay. And he did something that I thought, I don't want to say it took a lot of courage, because I feel like he's always been vulnerable, but he did something that I thought needed to be done more on a public platform, when he said, nah, like he refused the tissue, and he was like, nah, we black men cry.
Yeah, but the tissue is so you can wipe the snot off your nose.
Yeah, but he was like, no, I think the message he was sending across was, us as men, especially as black men, that's always been frowned upon. That's always been, you ain't tough, you ain't hard if you gonna do all of that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I get it, but I want to play devil's advocate right now, just for the fun of it. But it wasn't nobody stopping you from crying. It was they offered you tissue so that you can wipe your snot and tears away. It wasn't saying like don't cry. Right?
Well, yeah, of course.
So it kind of been used,
but he kept offering the tissue though. He kept offering the tissue. He was like, nah, I'm good. All right. So, and I don't want to make the conversation about the tissue. I think the message behind what he was trying to say, because he looked directly into the camera.
He wanted to be vulnerable.
And he wanted that to be more of a talking point of like, this shouldn't be a problem with anybody doing this. When you have life.
Is that still a problem?
Hell yeah.
As far as like black men not being vulnerable with each other?
Yeah.
I think
it's still a problem.
I think there's a perception going on with that. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm more vulnerable with my male friends, and I see a lot of even youngsters, even the young kids. Like I don't see that like don't cry thing anymore. I from what I view is a lot of black men, young teens, kids are extremely vulnerable with each other.
I see the, I don't want to say disdain, but I see the distraction evolve. When we were coming up, it was, hey man, you can't be doing all that crying, man. You know what I'm saying, around here, like you need to be hard. You know what I'm saying? And then it evolved into when somebody gets emotional, now it turns into a meme or a laughing matter. if you look at like a lot of the iconic moments, well, I wouldn't even say iconic moments, but viral moments when a lot of black men have, specifically black men, when they cry,
on the internet,
it turned into a meme.
On the internet, it will be turned into a meme, but in real life, I feel like black men and young black boys are extremely vulnerable with each other. Like, I definitely agree with what you're saying, for sure. Because it could be made into a meme just from being on the social media. Yeah. But in real life, I don't think that's a thing. No, like, I think that's a thing of the past.
What we experienced is a thing of the past. But what it's evolved into is what's going on right now. Sure. And I like the fact that you said social media, because a lot of people can't separate what's real life and social media. For sure. You see what I'm saying? Most people take their real life and make it, they try to make it social media, and it's like, nah, that's not. Yeah. So, just seeing that, I thought that was a necessary gesture that he did.
A necessary?
Yeah. Okay. Thought it was a necessary gesture, because who knows what'll follow behind that? Who knows who will reference that in the future, like this, that, and the other. He's still, I know he's also promoting the movie. The movie was it 1990?
Yeah, he was looking like Teddy Pendergrass or something.
Yeah. Oh, the bearded Tyrese. Tyrese Pendergrass. And I feel like that's one of I feel like that's one of Ray Liotta's last films before he passed away.
Did he not grow a beard?
Who?
Tyrese.
It looked like he grew one.
That was his?
I think so, because he did the national anthem somewhere and he had the beard.
Okay. It might be his beard. I don't know. I saw a clip. I saw like a still of him with the thing, and I was like, oh, they did the beard makeup.
I mean, maybe it's both. Maybe he needed some more. I mean, you've seen the videos where now people getting waves, they're getting beard implants. Should we be calling that implants, or should we be calling assistance?
It's both. Implant assistance.
But see, implant, wouldn't that be like surgery where it's gonna stay like that?
Yeah, but what are they doing? How are they
like if a woman wears a weave or a wig, is that a hair implant or is that a weave or a wig?
What do they call that?
They call it a weave or a wig, right? So what do you call?
Weave,
so when
the weave is weaving, the wig is on.
You said the weave is woven, and then what happened?
The hair is. How they getting the hair?
But my thing is,
how did Nori get?
But we don't call that an implant though.
They implanting it in your scalp.
In your skull.
In your scalp. Follicle by follicle.
Y'all let us know, man. Is it called an implant?
Is it an implant?
Is it called an implant where men get fake beards and hair, but women get wigs and weaves?
So is it an attachment?
It's an attachment.
It's an attachment.
I think you can say it's an attachment.
But you got to be careful when you say what kind of attachment.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be specific.
You got to be specific.
Yeah, for sure.
Hair attachment.
Yeah. Beard attachment,
facial
dread
attachment.
Yeah, facial. I don't know about that. Yeah, facial hair attachment. Yeah. Okay.
Inclusion.
Do you see all the stuff we got to go? We didn't have to do this. Yo, dog, we didn't have to do this 25 years ago. That's crazy. We didn't have to do this 25 years ago, man. We didn't have to be so specific, dog.
Niggas just grew their hair or they didn't do it. Like, Onyx was cool.
Man, speaking of Onyx, man, do you believe when they said they started a bald head?
Fredro said the reason Michael Jordan went bald was because of Onyx.
Because he was listening to Onyx before the game, right?
It could be a fact. What year Michael went bald?
Man, I don't 80.
You sure it was in the 80s?
Yeah. Michael got drafted in the 80s, dog.
No, but he wasn't bald in the 80s.
Dog, he was bald in the 80s.
The first season of the NBA? I thought he had hair.
No, he did have hair. I'm saying he was bald in the 80s, man. Do I got to look it up? Let's look it up real quick. Y'all take a minute, man, because I always got to do
Michael
this.
Bald
when
in the 80s?
Did Michael Jordan
because all of a sudden niggas just started
officially
going bald. Tupac
go bald?
Tupac went bald.
Let's see. 1989.
89, he went bald.
Yeah. So it looks like sporting the bald look. Yeah, it was around 1989.
Okay.
Fair.
Did that make him fly? Like, that probably was a reason. That's scientific, though.
What?
Like, why he cut his hair off.
Yeah, it's called a hairline.
No, but allowed.
Science says receding
force.
Hairlines, they will recede. That's what science says. They will recede.
Yeah, so. But the way he was flying.
Yeah, I don't think it was the bald head. Nah. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in you, man, because it wouldn't be the hair. It would be the shoes.
Now the shoes got.
You got to remember, they said, "Is it the shoes?"
That's what they thought.
Yeah.
But see, that's what they thought.
Yeah.
They thought it was the shoes.
But it was the bald head.
It was the hair.
That's why Kobe did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, I see what you're
LeBron
saying.
keep trying.
Everybody, Iverson.
He's fighting against it, and that's why he ain't reached where the same level.
He's fighting against the bald head.
He's fighting against him, and
everybody can't pull off the bald head, man.
If he would just let his hair go bald.
Yo, I'm done. I'm done dealing with bruh.
He might.
I'm done dealing with bruh. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, man.
Never know.
I'm not doing it. Yo, so I sent you, some context to some of these topics we covering, right?
For sure.
And what I found interesting, and it was funny, but it made me question, like,
What?
When Brad he was doing the video and he was talking about like how you have to approach women in today's climate, right?
Oh, when he said he sent her the cash app.
Yeah, he was like, check your cash. It's like, what about my babies? They need that babysitter. And then you hear the cash app coins drop. He's like, what about my friends? Y'all check your cash app. Yeah. Do you think that's a real thing, or do you think that that's a young thing that's also being perpetuated on social media? Do you think that's real?
I think it's real, but it's like an exaggeration probably. But okay. I can tell you that it's probably a little both. It's now a lot of dudes got the ability to
scammers, like
even if they scamming, like it's a lot more money out there. So some people got more money than a lot of people would have at that back in the day. So they got the money to spend, and then the women are playing the game too.
So how much of it, from your perspective, would you say it's common? Give me a percentage of how common you think it is.
I'm not even in that tax bracket.
Of what?
Of doing whatever he was doing with
I'm saying from your perspective, what do you think the percentage is of how many people is really doing that?
I don't even know, because I don't know if that's just a social media.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it happen?
I don't experience that.
No, I'm saying, have you seen it? Like, have you seen other like homeboys or cousins or you see what I'm saying? No. I haven't seen it.
That's why I think it's like a social media.
I think it's a social media,
but it just depends on what type of women we might be dealing with. We just don't deal with them type of women.
Yeah, that too.
So we don't know what the experience is, because we just ain't gonna have that.
Yeah. Well, on that post, I did look at the comments, and I was happy to see like a handful of women saying, I don't know who y'all talking to, but I don't roll like that, and things of that nature. I like seeing that too. Yeah,
but I'm not sure. I'm sure it is, but it just depends on what coast you on, what area, what city you in. That matters too. Sacramento ain't that type of city to where it's gonna be some.
There's some people out here that be trying.
They gonna try.
Yeah, we got some triers.
Bitch, I seen you at what's that show? That store, Best Fitted. You talking about you was at Best Fitted school shopping, and now all of a sudden I gotta pay for you.
What do you think that came from? That concept of like, if you're not paying me, if you're not doing this, you're not doing that, then we not talking.
Oh, it started with Destiny's Child.
That's where it started.
It started with Destiny's
Child. You can't pay my bills, and scrub.
Pay my telephone bill.
Yeah.
Independent woman.
Yeah.
That started.
Yeah.
And then it became, when Cardi B, Meg, all of them came through. Now it's, they talking they shit how men.
So a whole bunch of rich and famous women. A whole bunch of rich and famous women.
Now we got social media, what's that called?
Influencers and IG model. But they still don't have the Meg money and the Destiny's Child money.
Depending on what city you in.
They don't. I don't know if they.
I don't think they got the Destiny's Child money.
They don't have that money. They may have money and resources.
But that was always crazy why they was talking about paying their bills like that when they was. You saw how much money they was making back then when they made that song.
Which song we talking about?
Destiny's Child.
Nah, I don't know how much money they was making. How much money was they making?
Think they was broke?
I don't think they was broke.
So they needed somebody to pay their bills.
I'm trying to figure out who.
Whichever one of them.
Yeah, no, I'm saying who's gonna be able to afford them bills?
Yeah, which bills you talking about?
Yeah,
Jay-Z could. That was the only nigga that could afford the bills. Everybody else couldn't afford it.
I mean, this is true.
We couldn't afford it, man.
This is true. I mean, that I do agree with that. That's where it started. It started turning into this whole you gotta finance my lifestyle.
Yeah. And I ain't mad at it because men been talking crazy especially in hip hop and rap in regards to how they treat women and what the expectations are. So it's only right that
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Now I'm gonna play counter. I'm gonna play devil's advocate with that counterbalance. All right.
Okay.
When men,
I think it's a byproduct as well.
When men was talking that noise to ignite this separation in hip hop with women, right? Do you think when they were using the word bitch and hoe and tricking and all of that stuff, do you think they were referring to decent women, or they were referring to leeches, or they just referring to any female they felt like thinking about?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
How you gonna devil's advocate the devil's advocate point?
See?
Yo, what? Yo, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. I didn't even know the devil had. I didn't even know the devil had this many relatives.
See, you didn't know it was.
Yeah, you got the devil's advocate, the devil's
like multiple
cousin,
universes. You didn't know it was possible.
Little devil.
Yep.
Big devil.
Big devil. Baby devil.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Tiny devil.
Go ahead,
all right,
man.
So your question was.
Who do you think they were referencing when they started talking? When they started talking about women in a derogatory way, do you think there was some separation with what type of women they were talking about?
They didn't specify enough.
Okay.
They left it up to interpretation because women are one of the main consumers of music as well. So you left it up. You talking about when you say women unite.
Yeah.
You know that
the Power Rangers.
I know. You knew that.
Yeah.
They got a little when they go into the bathroom.
Right.
Together.
Yeah.
It's a little button they push.
It's a huddle.
And that wall spin the fuck around and they go into a different cavern and shit.
Yeah, it got
and
like
they got
computers.
secret
file cabinets.
All kind of file cabinets and shit.
Hors d'oeuvres, wine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Different type of shit.
Yeah.
So, once you say women, then they all like, oh, you talking about all of us. So when you say
kind of like when they say men and we sometimes feel like they're talking about all of us.
Damn near.
Yeah. Now, I like the fact that you said they didn't specify, but because they didn't specify, is it our responsibility to interpret it how we see it versus what it is? Because that goes both ways, right? If you don't specify in detail what you mean and you say you didn't mean it like that, and they say, well, you didn't specify, that person could come back and say, I didn't specify that it meant how you interpret it either. Right?
I mean, now I'm confused.
You see what happens when you try the devil's advocate point is now he like, man, I don't even know, man. I just had chips. It's hot outside. I don't remember. Only thing I'm saying is I know that for every action there's a reaction, right? So in hip hop, you gotta think. Let's see, around the early 2000, hip hop had been around what 20.
They always want to say some scientific shit when they want to like prove their point. They want to throw some science shit in there. The apple don't fall far from the tree.
No, see, that's not even scientific stuff. That's just philosophy and poetry. Like that's when somebody try to dazzle you with some bullshit, right? But what I'm saying is, what I'm getting at is, for about 20, almost 30 years of hip hop, around those first 20, 30 years, women were getting the bad end of the stick as far as in being described, but they also contributed to hip hop in a major way too.
Yeah, like the Latinos.
So, yeah, and no, I'm trying to think of the earlier women because they did
Roxanne
contribute.
Shante.
Yeah, Roxanne Shante, Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper.
It's a lot.
MC Lyte
for sure.
Right. So when you look at the fact that there's always been women in the beginning, I'm wondering if those women felt that way too. All of them, did they feel that way, or was that just the consumer's ear not liking what it heard? Because women have been there since the beginning.
I'm sure they felt that way, but also it may depend because those was different type of women we talking about, of a different type of character and a different type of expectation.
Now watch where I go with this. The fact that women have always been there since the beginning, and they've knocked down the doors for a lot of women that are doing what they're doing today. Why weren't they singing those songs about you got to pay my bills if you got to do this, and you F boys is this and that?
That's what I'm saying. We talking about women of a different
caliber.
Caliber. We talking about the Queen. We talking about MC Light. We talking about Roxanne Shante. Who else were you just mentioned? Those are
Yo.
Thinking about
Salt and Pepper.
Think about the songs. I mean, you know, Salt and Pepper obviously had their type of songs, but when you think about like MC Light, Queen Latifah, Roxanne, those are women who have a different standard and character. So they not talking about they want a man to pay their bills or anything like that, because these are women who have a different expectation in life than what they portray. So they're not asking for a man's assistance or help, or putting a hand out what they need. These are women who feel like not
so were
give
these
me a seat.
so were these
like,
high
I have a seat at the
so
table.
I want to quote Dr.
High
I want to quote Dr. Bryant. You know, because, you know, Dr. Bryant, you know, she been talking to Nick Cannon and Cam Newton about all these babies. And, you know, I had to cover it.
Nick, you got to relax, bro.
Well, but I wanted to say this. She had you. Did you actually get a chance to watch the whole Cam interview?
No.
Okay, cool. There was a point where she started talking about, from, you know, her professional assessment of high functioning, low functioning men and women. So I want to ask you, because I mean, a standard with high and low functioning, all right? I mean, most of us know what that means, hopefully.
Intelligence?
Yeah, just intelligence and, you know, awareness and things of that nature, right? Could we say that the earlier women in the hip hop genre in the earlier days were high functioning women? Would we look at like Queen Latifah, Lauryn Hill, and all of them high functioning?
Yes.
Right. So, without saying any names, because, you know, we've
already said the names, but we could refer back to the earlier part.
So
of the conversation.
As hip hop has gotten older, does it seem that a lot more women are low functioning,
low vibration, yeah. Vibrations is
because and you know what? Let me say this too, because, you know, we're saying women, and the women that are watching is gonna be, what about the men? We already listen, y'all. We already know who the low functioning men are in music. We've always knew. Conscious rap consistently takes shots at low functioning music and low functioning men.
For sure.
If y'all would just support more conscious music,
talk about it,
instead of supporting low functioning music or music by low functioning men, y'all would understand that it's always been there. But we could throw some examples of J. Cole, Kendrick, Common. There's a whole lot more.
Common just came out of nowhere in that list. That was a crazy addition to the list, but they get what we're saying.
Yeah,
but it's other, you know.
But there's most people. Yeah,
Jid, the whole crew that what's Cole's crew?
Dreamville.
We can say,
you know who we could throw, and then you could kind of throw some people. You can also throw some people in there that
Nipsey
kind of that's what I was gonna say, that kind of treaded that line where they're letting you know that, hey, this is how I started, but this is where we need to go.
Nipsey to me was the new Jay-Z.
Yes. Or Schoolboy
Q. The way in which they deliver the music might be more aggressive, or it might be street, but what they're talking about is giving you knowledge and teaching you how to grow and teaching you how to build and be for yourself. So giving you knowledge of self in certain different aspects.
Keep going. Nas?
Oh, for sure.
You know,
bro, there's so many. The top people are the top lyricists in hip hop it's always been somebody who had some sort of like, at least some sort of consciousness at all. Whether it was Biggie, whether it was Pac, whether it was Jay, whether it was Kendrick, whether it was Cole.
And that's crazy. It's even crazier. It's crazy that you said Biggie and Pac, because they've always made controversial references of the culture using them as the example. We don't want to be like Biggie and Pac. But the crazy thing is this is real controversial, but us as a culture decided on what we wanted to highlight that they put out. They put out that gangster street stuff, but they put out a lot of messages that could have affected us in a different way. We as a culture just decided to subscribe to that. And the reason why I like all of these moving parts of this conversation, right, is because we talked about how in the earlier stages the women in hip hop wasn't really perpetuating a lot of the BS that's going on right now, right? But at the same time, these are different elements that kind of prove some of the points I had made on the last episode when Umar was trying to downplay hip hop and say that hip hop hasn't done nothing for the community.
Well, I mean, the women nowadays is not necessarily their fault because they don't have enough examples to feed off of.
I disagree.
I don't believe they have enough. So hip hop is dominated by men.
I disagree because I don't think that the problem is examples.
I would say, yeah, part of the problem would have to be examples because you have to have something like you don't know what
the examples are there forever. The earlier state, if you're a historian, right, mm-hmm. and you talk about history, and you talk about like what the country is. Let's just say you're a historian. You talk about the country now. Mm-hmm. You say, there's no great examples now, and it's just everything is terrible. But if you're a historian and you love history, you can use those examples from yesterday to show today how we could be or what it used to be and how it should be.
Yeah, but you would have to know that there's even a history. So like
true.
Some of these
that's
people,
true. That's a good point.
People are growing up without really being like
shown the history
it's
or
right
taking to the history.
They have a filter. So their filter is like not seeing they're not in hip hop for the same reasons that we was into hip hop to where we want to go do our research. They are in hip hop.
So media.
Yeah, it's more of a like it's a thing for their social media presence, their popularity. It's not necessarily a love.
So it's not based off of love. It's based off of likes, comments, exposure,
you can
going
like
viral.
Hip hop for that part of it.
Okay.
The money, you can like hip hop because the way it raises your social currency, but some of us loved and got into this thing because of the art. Whatever different aspect of hip hop we liked, we appreciated the art, and that caused us to want to do the research because we would go down this rabbit hole of finding things.
Well, we had information that no longer exists. We bought a CD. We looked at the cover, the art,
and we wanted more.
We read about who engineered it, who produced it, what the features were, what record label they were on, and then we did want more. Or by looking at the contents of an album, we would go look at the artist. Let me go look this artist up that I never heard of that was on this album, and then you learn about their catalog and their backstory.
And we had time.
Yeah.
See, we had the time to be able to we wasn't over. It wasn't an overproduction of music to where we had time to go do the research, appreciate
digest the album, and then when another album came out by another artist,
knowing what's coming out.
We know.
Now it's like, damn, it's Friday again. But every week it's something new coming out, and you ain't even listened to the last 10 things that you purchased or downloaded.
I just got to the Juicy J album this week. I love it. I love it, by the way.
It's a lot. I heard a song off of it that was like, damn,
it's a great jazz album. He's
not even rapping like Juicy J. He's rapping like some hip hop on the song I heard. It was dope.
Yeah, it's he went from Juicy J to what's a better comparison or change? He went from like Juicy J to like Ginger Ale.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? he chilling. He is chilling, but he's speaking though.
Sparkling J.
He's speaking. Yeah. He is speaking for real.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that being your point, I do agree with that. But the reason why I was saying that I disagree, which I don't anymore, I'll just add more context to what you're saying. I think the problem is there isn't enough examples based off how you explained it, but I'll also think the lack of support. When we name people like Mick Jenkins and we name people like Jid and all of these different artists, they aren't getting that massive support that a Sexy Red would get, that a Ice Spice would get, that a Boogie would get, Cash Cobain, all of these newer artists, or hell, we could even say Kendrick. From what Kendrick has done this year alone, these artists that are giving you a message and saying something aren't getting the support by the people that could give it to them for free.
I think what you just said made me realize that some things that are more valuable in the culture than others.
Okay.
And so, like, let's say, you know, you're going to create a character, you got different aspects of the character that you're creating, right?
Yeah.
Some things is like, okay, you put more into this one, and you don't have you really might not be able to put enough points into this area, right?
Okay.
So Sexy Red and a lot of different people, they have that. There's something to buy in, like as far as like a persona or something.
Yes, there's like bait to pull you in.
Mick Jenkins has, you know, you would appreciate him as somebody who has a love for the art and just the music, but he doesn't have like a character that he's playing. So, you know, when people are playing a character, whether it's them or not, it adds to
what
that
characters?
persona.
Give me some examples of some people that are popular right now that's just putting on a character.
Sexy Red.
Okay.
That's a character. She started off with doing like those, you know, that one song, Making My Way Downtown, Walking Around. Okay, she remixed that years ago to like some hood shit.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like a trend.
Yes. So that's like that. This is like a character that she's probably playing. This isn't
so really like Charleston White. Playing a character,
coming and playing his character.
Yeah,
you have to have a character like some of these people, or you just have to be playing the role that everybody likes. So either you got a character and it falls in line, or you are just being a carbon copy of something else.
So it's fair to say that Sexy Red is probably, we're gonna assume, could possibly be 5 times more talented than what she's actually.
Are more intelligent than what she is, and her intelligence might.
Because we seen that in Lotto. Remember how Lotto first showed up?
Lotto could rap though.
She could really rap.
Lotto could rap,
but she made that transition to the traditional sex sales concept,
in the country.
Yeah,
yes, for sure. Her, Cardi.
Yeah.
Meg.
Yeah.
All of them are falling into this character.
And it's a character that collectively we choose to accept rather than the person that they probably would have liked.
Remember remember Pink?
Yeah.
Remember when Pink came out?
Pink came out.
She fuck with the black
yeah,
folks. That was her character.
That was her character.
To get her the foot in the door. Remember, what's his name? What's the white boy from Detroit?
Yellow Wolf?
I mean, him too, but what's the one that be wearing the little round hat? What's his name now? Kid Rock. Remember Kid Rock?
I remember.
Fuck with black folks.
Yeah.
Now Kid Rock is
doing what he really wanted to do,
and doing and talking how you really want to talk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that do that, to where they get their foot in the door by playing this character, and either they forget who they are and maintain that character, or they know who they are and they're just like, I'm gonna keep this character.
I felt like that's what Rihanna did. Rihanna came in trying to be like the girl next door, soft, you know. But then when she came out with that album where she kind of had that dark gothic look, that was the type of music I felt like she really wanted to make, and it worked for her because she was talented regardless of what she did. But the Rihanna we were introduced to, we never seen again. The Rihanna we know today is what it's always been after that first album, right? So. I don't know, man. It's starting to sound like the consumer is the problem.
Are we the problem, or is that the intention? Are we part of the problem, or are we doing what they are?
I would say 50-50. I would say 50-50. I say 50% collectively we are the problem. The other 50% is the marketing, the distribution, the tactics, the way to hook you in. They're choosing to say, nah, give them this. We know that they need, you know, green leaf vegetables and spring water, but we're gonna give them Snickers. We're gonna give them chips that say potato crisps on the side. We're gonna give them that. But because I want to speak to a point, you know, referencing the last episode. When Umar said what he said about hip hop, one of the things that I wanted to bring up too was we choose to consume. We have so much information. We have so much information now that tell you what's in the food at Carl's Jr., at McDonald's, all of the different articles and stories of what's happened to people and lawsuits and all of these different things, right? and people still eat it. Right?
Yep.
They still eat it.
So that's why I say, are we the problem, or are we the actual?
We make up half of the reason of the problem.
Are we doing what they intended for us to do?
Yeah, could say that. Well, I think the problem goes further than just somebody having an agenda and we falling right into it. I think it also boils down to I had this conversation with one of the homies, and he was like, we got to figure out a way to make things that are destructive to us not cool. Like the way we go in on each other when something ain't cool, like it's not popular or that's not the trend, that shame, that's why we're the most influential, because we shame out things that we believe that don't have flavor, that don't have some charisma to it, some style to it. So they say they say we are the influencers of the world, but that's because in-house we scolding each other like, man, you wearing that? What's wrong with you? What? Yo, don't talk like that. And then it's almost perfected by the time it reaches the rest of the world. But we don't keep that same energy when it comes to like the way we treat each other, the way we treat our women, the way women treat us, the way we treat our children, the way we treat our communities, the way we treat the things that we've created on our own. And we don't protect it. We allow other people to come in, sample from it, take it, and make a way bigger profit than ever. That's how breakdancing ended up in the Olympics. We didn't sign off on that.
Yeah, we definitely didn't.
Now hip hop is that influential, but we didn't sign off on that.
That's the problem. Hip hop, we got to have this conversation, like, because how did they get to choose to have that? Why is any aspect of hip hop in the Olympics?
We didn't protect.
They could just create some shit and say, let's just have an MC battle now.
We didn't protect it.
Imagine rap battle at the Olympics.
That would have been cold. Can you imagine being a rap battle gold medalist? That make me want to practice right now.
Yeah, but imagine if you just win.
Can you imagine the Olympic references in the battle?
It would be a lot of shit people wouldn't get.
I'll have them hanging from the rings, them Olympic rings.
What if they had? But that would be kind of
the squad move deep like Olympic teams. Ah.
Now I'm swimming in women winning just like a Michael Phelps. Like,
yo, the Olympic references would have been crazy. The Simone Biles references would have been crazy. Yeah. All of that. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe when we fully gray in the hair, you know what I'm saying? We might see a better representation. I don't know. Let me ask you this, bro. When we gonna learn, man? When we gonna learn? So I sent you two. I sent you two. And it's some of our people having terrible experiences at the same places that we give our money to, or that we uphold as a luxury standard. So T-Boz had a terrible, disrespectful experience at Ruth's Chris, and she decided to get on her phone, talk about it, using her celebrity to bring awareness of like, hey, this is how we get treated and things of that nature, right? And then I believe it was a brother that went to Chick-fil-A, and on his receipt, they wrote monkey on the receipt. Now
I'm not going to social media for that. I'm going back to Chick-fil-A.
Well, I don't know, man. You did go social media one time for a good cause.
I did.
Tell the people.
I did.
Tell the people, because
I contacted an organization by the name.
Now tell them the organization, man.
Levi's.
Yeah, Levi's.
Levi Strauss.
Okay.
To be exact.
And why did you call them, brother?
They had produced an article of clothing that had a bandana hanging out the back pocket.
Okay, and what color was that bandana?
It was a red bandana.
And what side of
it was on the right side.
It was on the right side.
I don't know nothing about gangbanging. I'm neutral. I'm from a non-gangbanging area of the country known as Northern California, not Northern, Bay Area, to be specific.
Hunters Point?
So I don't know nothing about the whole Crippin' and Bloodin', but I do remember hearing Snoop Doggy Dogg, as he was known at the time, said something about a rag hanging in my left side.
Yeah, that's
the Crip side.
Right.
So my logic led me to believe, okay, so at the time I said,
you still got that video?
Yeah, I got it on.
Send me the video so I could try to throw that in the visual part of the episode.
At the time, I said the word rivals. I called the people like, "Hey, hold on, I'm shopping.
Yeah,
I see a pair of pants. I'm like, oh, these clean." And I turn around, there's a rag hanging out the back, and I pick up another one. There's a rag hanging out. Right. I was like, man, what? Now I don't care.
Now what would have happened if you was going to get you
walking around getting
some Pyru pants? You know what I'm saying?
I could be with the kids, with the youth.
You grabbing some pants.
Yeah,
and it's a rival
coming out
in the other area, grabbing some blue and
coming out the library.
That's
and
crazy.
They want to press me about what my pants look like.
That's wild.
So I contacted Levi's. I wanted to find out and get to the bottom of it. Like, what's the influence?
Now, I'm not saying that you're the reason, but do they still sell those pants, brother?
I don't think them pants is. I think the pants.
Did they last that long in the stores?
I didn't see nobody really wearing those joints.
Post prophecy, huh?
Yeah, so I contacted the lady and said, what's this about? She said, sir, they said something about doing research, and then back in the 1600s or some shit, some cowboys was wearing a motherfucking.
Man, I didn't know banging went that far back.
Yeah, you didn't know.
That's crazy.
You didn't do your research.
Billy the Kid and it was waving flags.
You didn't do your research.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why ain't never put that in none of the Western movies?
Yeah.
Why does none of the Western movies have the?
Because they was in black and white. You couldn't tell what color it was. That's why. It was black and white back then.
John Wayne had a couple. John Wayne and Clint Eastwood had a couple movies in color, man. I don't remember seeing Clint Eastwood with no bandanas, man.
When they did when they do the re-editions, the re-release and shit, different colors,
digitally remastered. Okay, I see what you're saying.
But the black and white ones, you just couldn't tell. Yeah. That's what they was pushing.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I think that
B's, big C's.
I mean, I know we took a detour,
definitely,
but the point is we're looking at all of these companies that make all of these different things. So, and that was an example of them making something and they had no idea what they were doing, and their marketing team or whoever did they did no research at all. There's no way they did. But when we talk about our culture, and I'm gonna keep talking because I said I wasn't gonna do it, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna do it as much as I can. When we talk about the way that we get treated in establishments, this is the reason right here why we should be supporting our own when they are making a strong, diligent effort to produce something that we can have for us.
I get it, but sometimes that should be hard. It's like I got different opinions on this. Because the establishments that we have, they're making the same damn food everywhere, every city. Right. It's the same shit. Right. And sometimes we just be unaware of the fucking rules and policies. I don't think you could wear a hat at the dining tables and Ruth Chris's. Okay. So somebody might have you can just slip past and somebody, whatever. It's like, hey, I forgot to tell you, you got to take your hat off in here. I don't know what happened with the rest of the story with her. I don't remember, but yeah, I had a similar experience recently. I was with some family. It turned into an embarrassing moment. We were at the local Chili's, and
you said that you said local Chili's like they $150 a plate. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Cook.
Local Chili's celebration for some accomplishments. All right, and I was there first. It was about to be 9 of us, but I told the dude I got there first. I said, hey, man, it's about 7 of us. We need a table. He said, all right, on that side, ain't nobody working over there right now, so you got to wait. Okay, cool, we're going to wait. Other people started showing up, and I was like, oh, shit, wrong number. It's supposed to be 9 of us. Tell him that. So he's coming back, letting us know. Now, mind you, it's a mixed group of people, black, Mexican, white. Right. And we sit in the lobby area next to some people who was black, Mexican, and they had their kids. Okay. So the dude he was coming back and he was like, yeah, so how many people is? I said 9. And so he was looking like trying to count. And I said 9. He was like, it looks like it's more than 9 people. I said, my nigga, we not with them. I said, that's not part of our damn group.
This person that you were talking to, did they look like us?
No. Okay. But I had already talked to him, and the people who he thought was with us was there 15, 20 minutes before us. Right. So I'm laughing at him like, I know we look alike, but we not with them. So it's 9, like I told you. Right. So then we had a family member who caused the scene after that and was saying, you know, he trying to be funny, this and this and that, started cussing, calling them the F word, and like it turned into a whole shit, and we all left. And then they wanted to stay there because the table finally.
Oh, so they did a photo. They did a solo album.
Table finally got ready. They was like, "Come on, let's go." So we like, "No, we not going back in there after you just made this scene."
Yeah, our food ain't gonna be cooked to our liking at this point.
He's not. It's, yeah. So,
did this relative watch the movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds?
I don't think so.
Yeah, the number one rule of that movie, as funny as it was, don't fuck with people that's handling your food.
Yeah, and I get it. That's his own ignorance. Let him be ignorant and look like Boo Boo the Fool.
Right.
It's not enough for me to get mad and flash and all that because he's incorrect. Like that's his own little prejudice or whatever he think or whatever. But it's not that big. It's like, all right.
I mean, what is it even really malicious?
I can tell, like, you probably confused. We all look like it's a big. You don't know who's who, but that's not my fault.
Yeah, that's part of your job to identify, though.
Yeah,
right?
You were supposed to have known that they was there before us.
Right.
So, yeah. But more of the story is like sometimes we just be in our own head and think that there is something going on that's not really going on. We might not be aware of what transpired sometimes.
I would word it a little bit better like this. I would say because of past trauma,
right,
that we also need to identify and understand, we have a tendency to go to certain environments where it's easy for us to take certain actions as prejudice or disrespect or having some kind of malicious intent behind it.
Yeah, we get singled out too a lot. So.
Oh, we get singled out often, so we always have that in the back of our head too. And when we get singled out, it always feels like it's on stage in front of everybody, right? But with that being said, there's 2 points I wanted to make. The one point I wanted to make is this is why it's important to support your own when you see somebody diligently working and trying their best to create spaces that will be allowed to be in. You see what I'm saying? And I also think that we also have to practice. And if we don't, and for those that don't know, we need to get the knowledge, but we also need to practice the proper steps in handling situations when they do escalate.
For sure.
Right? Now, we done seen a lot of scenarios of our people still being extremely disrespected, even with us handling ourselves. But that can change with, going places where we're not tolerated and where we're accepted.
Well, we got to start learning how to make some more type of food then.
Well,
different types of food, because I'm not going to keep going to these black establishments and it's the same shit. I can't support all of y'all eating the same damn food.
Well,
I need different varieties. Nigga,
why you get loud? Why you get loud?
Somebody make some spaghetti and
why
chicken.
You get loud,
Why
bro?
y'all always making the same shit? Make some shit that y'all. Where's the salmon croquettes? Why is it no spaghetti and chicken? What happened to corn, rice, and pork chops? I don't even eat all that shit, but it's just crazy.
Why you get loud? You grab the mic. You make the same food.
No. It's just the same items on the menu.
Listen to me, brother. I 100% agree.
Using different noodles for the mac and cheese don't change the shit up.
I 100% wholeheartedly believe and agree with you. But here's what I think part of the issue is.
Nigga made mac and cheese with angel hair pasta.
I think that's crazy. You made me cut myself off right now. You made me cut myself off. If you out there making mac and cheese with angel hair pasta, you deserve all the footwork.
You going to hell.
You deserve all.
That's what's happening. That's on the way to hell, nigga. Making mac, you out of pocket.
Now, this is what I will say. I do believe that there's a lot more black-owned businesses and creatives that just don't get or haven't gotten the exposure, or they had a really good product or idea, and because they didn't get that support, they were out of business 6 months to a year.
Yeah, because we gotta
have more coverage.
We gotta expand our palette and our horizon. We gotta.
No, I think it's there. I think these places are there. They just don't get the exposure. That's what I believe. I believe that there's not. For example, you've told me about places that you've experienced right here. Mm-hmm. You know, where it's clean eating and everything. Mm-hmm. But I've never seen any of these places like in my feed or other platforms that are here local promoting them on a heavy level. You got to think marketing and advertisement is everything. Mm-hmm. And because we have that at our fingertips with a cell phone, a lot of us pick and choose. Like we'll share an album, we'll share a family photo, we'll share a quote from somebody. But and we do all that stuff because that's what we feel like doing and we're not paid to do it. But when it comes to the things that you're saying, it's not being shared enough. Because
unless it's marketed, it's got to be two things for me. Overall, it has to be good food, right?
Right.
Good food.
Right.
White folks like soul food too.
Uh-huh.
They like other food as well.
Right.
We like other food as well. Overall, it has to be good.
Okay.
Number two, black folks ain't going to really support the shit unless they know it's black food. So a lot of black folks are not willing to expand their horizon when it comes to other types of food. They'd be like, oh, what's that? I don't eat that. I ain't trying that. Unless it's some regular shit that they are used to eating.
I think black folks that understand will.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Like,
so like it's
this generation, I just read an article where it says the Gen Z are drinking less. Like alcohol.
Yeah, but what I mean, like,
they're a lot more like we come down on younger generations a lot, but there are things that they're doing good. Like, yeah, they're more health conscious, they're more aware, and there's a certain percentage of black folks that make up that percentage that could do that.
But it's already a small percentage of a small population of people. So what I'm saying, like, the things that are it's. One reason that a lot of black restaurants are going to get popular is word of mouth. So more black people are going to go to this establishment because they heard somebody else say it was good. But if it's not like traditional black food,
like soul food,
it's a slower grind.
So you're saying
really good.
So
and
you're
a lot
saying
of food don't be good.
So is your argument that black folks won't support black establishments, even though we're talking about food, unless it's top tier?
Nah, unless they know that is one. I'm saying it has to be something different. We can't be making the fried soul food stuff all the time. We have way more of we have a larger palate than that, and we don't just make that. So that when it comes to us opening our own restaurants and businesses, that's what we go to. We go to the traditional black shit, barbecue. Fried soul food. That's what our restaurant's going to be. There are a lot of black people who are willing to open different types of restaurants and probably do that we are not aware of because it's not marketed as black, and it's either not good or it is good. So if it is good, we just don't know that the person who owns this place is a black person because it's not marketed that way. But sometimes a lot of people just don't know how to cook, and it don't be good.
I mean, but we could both say that a lot of restaurants aren't that good. It's just the experience and not having to cook yourself, right? Like, I haven't had too many things at a restaurant that I couldn't cook myself or make even better.
Yeah, but when I go, at least for me now, it's like I want to go somewhere where it's like, damn, that was good flavor. That was some good shit. That shit take.
I mean, that's the goal.
But I think that black folks don't have as much of a don't step outside the box enough.
I think we do. I'm
not saying that we don't, but I don't think we do enough.
I think we do, bro.
Give me an example.
Well, okay. Because I haven't watched lately. I've watched a lot of things on Food Network. Cooking competitions, right, where you have these black chefs that are amazing, and I don't see them making a whole bunch of shrimp and grits and all of these different things. They're making cuisines, right? But they may not have the support or the funding to open that type of establishment where it's like, hey, you could come here, you can eat a lot of good food. And I've seen a lot of people that look like us that are like, hey, I've been, vegan for X amount of years, so I'm trying this and I'm going to try that, or I'm have an attempt to make this. and it's just that funding isn't there.
But when the funding is there, and they do make a restaurant that's our establishment that's outside of the box, we may not be aware that it's black because it's not marketed as being black. It's good food, and it's just a different type of food.
Yeah, for sure. Because I have
folks ain't go in our circle, our algorithm ain't gonna know, because a lot of black folks ain't gonna know that, oh, that's a black restaurant.
Well, I mean, there are times where we do know because of the point that you made, word of mouth.
Yeah.
But I don't 100% believe that we need to market everything as black owned publicly.
I agree with that.
But
you was inspiration for me on that as well. So that's what I'm saying, because we shouldn't have to, and because sometimes we don't, we just don't know that them places is out there and that they're black. That they're black
owned. Well, we need to do a better job. I will say that
it could be very good food.
We need to do a better job. I agree with that. But I also think that what we need to do is, there's something that I wanted to point out that you said that I agree with, but I have a little bit of pushback. It's not really a pushback to your point. It's a pushback to the culture. Okay. So the point that I'll make is that most of these restaurants that we go to, it's not really clean eating. So like, if I have the taste for Thai food, if I have the taste for Chinese food, it's cooked in greases and different meats and all of these different things, right? So is fast food, like McDonald's and everything. If these different restaurants are a cultural thing, same rules apply. It just so happened that when it comes to our culture, because of history, slavery, and things like that, our black American culture is that gumbo, that fried chicken, shrimp and grits, and all of these things that is just, really, really rich in flavor from the South, right? Now, we all understand that comes from Big Mama and them and her mama and all of that stuff and family recipes, right? But that is our culture. It is. So when we do open restaurants, it's no different than, a Chinese buffet or Brazilian food or Italian food. So that's coming the same. Yeah, from them too. That's coming. Yes, more the same from them, right? But in your defense, at the same time, I do think because we are so skilled with flavors and we are so skilled in the kitchen, we can give alternatives, which is something that you talked to me about when you first started your journey. Like, yo, I want to make all the food that we grew up on, but in this type of way where it's more healthy. And you did make that attempt, and I was pretty damn impressed. Because when we started talking about Thanksgiving, he's like, well, dog, think about what kind of food we have on Thanksgiving. It's nothing but just this. And I was like, yeah, you're right. That's mainly vegetables. You see what I'm saying? So I do think that we have the skill, but I do think that sometimes we come down on our own because of what we do, as if that's not a part of black American culture. Because you got to remember, not everybody back home accepts us as being from home. And what I mean by that is, on the continent of Africa, some countries over there that don't accept us as being from there because our ancestors were sold here, right? So that also means hip hop. That's black American culture. But I don't want to do all the separation too much. No, I hear you. But what I'm saying is sometimes we got to remember that the things that we are producing does come from a point of history within our culture. For sure. But there's nothing wrong with being more diverse, because not all of us is 100% subscribed to that, or we just are on a different path but still associate with the culture.
No, for sure.
Right.
I definitely agree when you put it like that. Like all the other cultures who have the same, like, Italian food ain't much healthier than Chinese food. Then that Chinese food ain't much healthier than soul food. It's like they all have their own these foods that are popularized by these different cultures in America, for sure. I would just say that,
we are skilled enough, though, to have more of a variety. And I agree with that. We should
make it more. You can make it upper echelon in the way that you want. Like you can make. I know there's a lot of these There's a 5-star. I guess it's supposed to be a 5-star restaurant in Oakland, at the Oakland Tribune. It's more of the same type of food, but I guess it's supposed to be a upper echelon preparation to it.
So basically, like high end soul food.
Yeah, they got a lot of those.
And I think that could be great too, because it's the stuff that most of the food that's soul food can be healthy. Is just the way we add that when we add that flavor to it. It's like, man, that's where the itis come from. The itis don't really come from any other culture of food but soul food, in my opinion.
With my greens, I make my own broth. I don't use obviously ham hock or nothing like that in it, but I don't cook my vegetables down. My vegetables are still green. Like, I don't cook them down to like
they're translucent.
And just letting them cook all day. You've removed all the nutrients and everything from them. They taste different and they soggy or whatever. Yeah. There's different ways to prepare the food for sure, and it still be nutritional and still have extreme amounts of flavor and not be as negative to our health. Yeah.
And I feel, I believe myself, right? When you talk about these two scenarios with T-Boz and the brother with Chick-fil-A, the bottom line point is, there are establishments for us, and there's nothing wrong with going to other establishments that were not created and managed by us. But just, I would strongly encourage our people that when we step into establishments that are not from our culture, that we are more aware of the policies, more aware of the culture itself, so that we have the experience that we want. Because even though I felt like she didn't need to be humiliated because of what her attire was, I don't agree with that. But if that is the policy, if that is the policy, then go places that you will be accepted because of who you are, and what you're wearing will be accepted as well.
There's certain bars I don't go to because it's not even a club. It's a bar. I don't go there to the Flamingo House. I don't go there. Why? Because they don't let niggas in with hats. It ain't because I can't not wear a hat. I just like to wear a hat. It ain't like my shit receding and I'm going bald. Right. I know Flamingo House, they don't let nobody wear hats in there.
Nobody can wear a hat. Not a fedora, none of that.
I think it's full brim hats they might let you in. I think full brim hats they might let you in. But I don't go there because of that. It's like, all right, I know that's their rule. I'm not about to go fight about it. And we also we got to learn our tactics. Like what I'm learning now is I'm just talking because
what if the culture, right? Here's an idea for the culture. This is kind of funny in my opinion. Okay. What if we did the exact opposite when we opened our establishment? Ooh. You gotta wear J's. You gotta wear sweats.
See, we don't.
You gotta wear ball caps
because
you gotta dress down to come here. You come in here in a suit. Get up out of here. What if we did that?
I think that's where we are vulnerable.
Yeah, we don't know how to reverse.
Segregative people. We don't like to segregate people
because we know how it feels.
You got the gang separation and the tribalism, but when it comes to like establishments and viewing people as the other, we don't really do that unless you're like an enemy of somebody. Like if you're not an enemy, like to where it could be to some physical violence.
Yeah, we quick to let everybody to the barbecue, bro.
Yeah, we let you in. So we always fall on that to where we're not going to treat our oppressor the way our oppressor treats us. Mm-hmm. And so they are aware of that.
What's crazy is
we just don't think about it. It's not even on our radar.
We don't have any heavy history of doing that yet. Never. We see so many of our counterparts try to perpetuate. Like, for example, if we said like Black Power in something, I've seen like on Facebook or in different apps and stuff where they're like, oh, but if we said this power, then it would be an issue. And it's like, that's crazy because
we said it.
Go ahead and explain why we would say it.
We said Black Power to empower ourselves.
Right. Because of how we've been what?
Oppressed.
That's
where Black Lives Matter came from.
Originally, that's where it came
wasn't
from.
Saying that
before it got hijacked. Yeah,
it wasn't matters more than others. It's saying,
is it Michael
hey,
Che?
We matter too. Maybe we should put the T at the end.
What?
BLMT.
I don't want to BLT, but what I'm saying was it was it Michael Che, the comedian, where he talked about that.
Probably.
On a special. It was dope the way he put it. He was like, man, listen, we had an argument over Black Lives Matter. Just matter. Just matter. Civil rights. We just want you to be civil. Civil. Can you cut the fucking hose off, please? Civil rights.
Civil.
Then he flipped it and he said, now, what if I went to a memorial on like 9/11 and I wore a shirt that said all buildings matter? How would y'all feel about that?
Yeah, all of them matter.
And I thought that was a great reference point in what he was trying to say, because for some reason, even though we are one of the smallest minorities at this point in this country, when we say things to uplift us, it turns into putting everybody else down when that was never the conversation. It was never, ever, ever the conversation.
We wouldn't be saying this bullshit if y'all would just let us drink from the clean fucking water fountain. If we didn't have to go to, if we could sit in the front, wouldn't have been no issue. We was literally just trying to walk down the street in a group.
I remember
it was hot, but we didn't like the water.
High school. I remember high school. Arden Fair Mall, to be specific.
Okay.
We went to the mall. We had to be like 12 deep. The homie Burks got the keys to the van because he got his license first.
Astro van?
Yeah, no, different color, same one on Kendrick's album, if I'm not mistaken, right? And I think we had another homie that maybe had like a car with like 2 other people with him in it, right? We all went to the mall.
I'm about to say 12 in that Astro van.
No. We had, he had a few people with, in his car, maybe even more. But it was 12 of us by the time we got to the mall. And I remember security telling all of us several times, y'all can't walk in a group. Y'all gotta break up. But there's 2 things that happened, because knowing what I know now, that could have been a lawsuit for harassment, profile, and all kinds of stuff, right? If you spin that same concept around, because it's teenage black kids, but if this was grown black adults in their 30s and 40s, you're not telling them they can't walk together.
Yeah, no.
Not without a problem.
No.
And God forbid that you're telling somebody in that group that happens to be, some of them are store owners in that mall. You see what I'm saying? Or God forbid you do that to a group of white kids whose parents may be police officers. One of them might even be your physician. One of their parents might be your physician.
They're not going to tell a group of white kids.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just bringing this up. Excuse me. I'm just bringing this up because us investing in ourselves is going to decrease some of these experiences, because we'll be in places that, like I said, were accepted and not tolerated. That's number one. But number two, the other reason is, if we want different type of experiences and we want to enjoy ourselves, we have to diversify our abilities, because we are very capable. We do have the skills. But I also think that the people that are trying, there's somebody probably listening right now, or this will probably get sent to somebody that's in this position where they're just not getting the exposure and they have a genius idea. We got to do our part collectively in sharing our experience when we do go to an establishment that's from us, that has great product, great service. I'll say one right now, Q1227.
The restaurant,
seafood restaurant. It's I don't want to call it a seafood, but it's but me and the wife have been there, I think, twice, and black owned. His
Roseville, right?
Yeah, his the brother's wife. In my opinion, she's like a damn philanthropist. Like, she does a lot of work in the community, right? But let me tell you, the experience I got from this place versus any other place, I thought was dope. While we were eating, the owner and the GM went to every table and asked us how the food was and appreciated us for coming out. I've never experienced that at any other place.
Oh, now, you've never had that happen?
I've never had that happen at any place I've been to.
Oh, swear.
Nope.
I've definitely had that
but you know what? But I'm glad that was my first experience out of all the places that I went to. You see what I'm saying?
I don't even see how I would be a business owner like that of something that I created, and I didn't come out and just talk to people anyway. That would just be my thing. Be like, man, how you like this? It's good. Like, that's just a natural thing that I would.
Because you have humility.
Yeah,
yeah. But a lot of business owners don't.
I'm appreciative of even having this business.
Now I've had like the waiters and people like that. Thank you for coming out. Do you need anything? But I'm talking about the owner and the GM going from table to table.
I never had a GM, but I definitely had the owner of the restaurant.
The owner and the GM came out, and I appreciated that. But I feel like there's and I do believe that place gets support.
But I was in the Bay Area when that happened, I think.
Well, cultures, just like you said, new culture might be a little different. Bay Area is historical when it comes to black culture, right?
And it was a lot more restaurants. It wasn't even a black restaurant.
Okay.
This was like, I'd never had that happen at a black restaurant that I can remember. These were like traditionally owned by white folks.
Yeah. And but this is going to be controversial. White people are really, really good at customer service.
Yeah, we're not good at it.
We're learning.
Yeah.
We're learning.
Don't
get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. We have had a lot of bad experiences from our own. We choose, though, as a group, we choose to highlight that more than highlight the good like I just did. Yeah. That's what I'm saying that needs to happen. You know, we could talk about, like all of these other platforms, we could talk about what's going on with this rapper's girlfriend and this rapper's baby mom, but we don't want to talk about like, yo, such and such just, delivered 100 pizzas over here and just created scholarships. I think there's a couple of rappers that send 2 people or a few people to college every year and been doing that. I know Nelly's one of them, but we choose to emulate the things that we hate seeing about ourselves that's being broadcast by people that don't look like us, instead of shifting that. So I think that with me saying what I said about Q1227, the other thing that's dope too is I've seen a lot of important black people go eat there because of representation, the reputation of the place. For example, for those that know me, know I'm a diehard Colts fan. Tony Dungy, the first black head coach to win a Super Bowl, coached the Indianapolis Colts. He made an appearance at that restaurant.
Oh, I swear.
Yes. And I think Marshall Faulk, who used to play for the Colts, he was out here. He made an appearance. So a lot of black wealthy elites that come here to Sacramento, most of them make their way to Q1227.
The food was good, though?
Yeah. Food is pretty good. Okay. Some people might feel like, this could be better, whatever, but it's all preference, right? But the point is see that support even me, I'm not a huge name yet, but I would say that those examples, that's how we support. But the majority of the support isn't even going to come from the celebrity, the black celebrity. Is going to come from the black consumer, the consistent black consumer.
For sure.
And I think that's how we nip things in the bud, like having a monkey put on your receipt, or yo, you got to get out of here because we told you not to wear no hat.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't even read my receipt enough to see that. Like when I look at my receipt, I look at the numbers. But if I see that, I'm going back. I can't wait. I'm
looking at all my receipts now. Let me put rich dude on my receipt. I'm getting offended because I'm not.
Nah.
You antagonize me because I ain't got the bread like that. You gonna call me a rich man on my receipt?
Coming right.
No, I already know you. Right. Listen, look. Before we get out of here, Before we get out of here, I want to explain something to you about this guy. If y'all haven't seen Devil in a Blue Dress, watch Devil in a Blue Dress, because all this cool suave wearing glasses and stuff, that's not who he is. Who he really is Don Cheadle in Devil in a Blue Dress. He played a character called Mouse. That's him. Mouse. I've been telling people he's lying to y'all when he acts all calm, cool, collective, because I've seen the other side. I've heard the other side, and that side has almost sent other people to the other side, if you know what I mean. But
it's all peace and love.
Yeah, all right.
It's a law of love, peace, and respect.
Peace, trigger, love, to see you go down. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, man, we gonna get out of here, dog. You've been tuning into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building.
Still former Poe.
And you've been tuning into Outlawed Opinions. Let us know what you think. Leave likes, leave comments. I appreciate all of y'all on TikTok that be giving me the
That's the new song. outlawed opinions, where our opinion is law and your opinion is outlawed.
I like that. Hey, but I was saying I want to appreciate y'all on TikTok because you guys are the most vocal. We get a couple comments on YouTube here and there.
TikTok,
but I like the conversations y'all having on there. So continue to leave those comments. Continue to subscribe. It helps with the support to keep everything running. You know where to find us. Until next time, peace.